Welcome to the first volume of Manchester United's greatest FA Cup victories. We're featuring 6 magnificent matches, spanning the youthful all-action team of Tommy Docherty in the mid-70s to the Ron Atkinson era that brought the cup home twice in the 80s. First game up, it's the semi-final of 76 against Derby County at Hillsborough. And what an exciting United lineup. Stevie Coppell and Gordon Hill, flyers down the wings. Stuart Pearson, a brilliant goal snatcher. The class of skipper Martin Buchan, the unflappable Alex Stepney behind them all in goal.
The moment of release from the tensions that have been building up for the past half an hour and more. The expressions will tell their own story of the feelings of tension. A greeting from the Manchester United supporters to their team. Massive flags and some very original banners. Four now in midfield. And number 4 is Jerry Daly. Good confident start by Manchester United. No signs of nerves from the youngsters. It's nicely through to Houston. And Thomas to concede the first corner of this FA Cup semi-final between the two giants of the First Division. 63 goals Derby have scored in the league, 62 Manchester United. Got a back flick, and over the top from Coppell. Had to stab at it as it came to him. Powell, Todd well forward. Davis, not a good return ball. Hill, nicely played to Daly. The query is up. Hill, trying to count it and does! Gordon Hill! And really the trap was sprung from the moment at the other end of the field that the return ball from Davis to Todd wasn't a good one. Good break by Manchester United. And that confident, cocky youngster from London's Millwall has put Manchester United in front. Curling shot that got over the keeper. 12 minutes gone, first blood to the Reds. Davis. McElroy beaten by Davis. And on again for Davis, chance here without any question. And Stepney doing well. Roger Davis struggling to get round his man. Stepney coming to meet the two and parrying it for the corner. The Manchester United end is still going absolutely mad over the goal. Good play by Pearson. Daly. 5 players up. Thomas turning it away. Pearson. It was deflected for the corner. Went through 2 players. Powell, James, Gemmell. Lee moved away from it. Well won by Buchan. Promising for United. Haven't quite got the width they might like on this attack. Now Pearson giving it to them. In goes Hill. Flag was up anyway. Good catch by Mosley. Place of anxiety belongs to Dave Mackay. A terrible moment for a manager. You know your team isn't playing as they can, and what can you do about it? From a seat in the trainer's bench. Davis in the middle, so is James. Here's Davis! Straight in the arms of Stepney. Got across well, did Stepney. Turned himself from Rioch's cross. Nice nod down by Lee. Here's Rioch. James is up ahead, wasn't seen. Gemmell blocked by Greenough. Look at the charge forward. 6, 7, 8 of them offside. Well, Nish a bit unlucky, because I thought he came from the back. The linesman's flag was up, George Holt, but Nish, I think, came from the back and ran through the crowd. When the pass was played, I have a strong suspicion that David Nish was onside. But there were a lot of other players offside, and the referee, of course, entitled to say that they were interfering with play. Offside, that was against McCreary. This is free kick straight to Koppel, who has Pearson to his left, now going outside him. Tackle by Powell is a foul, says the referee. The contrast between the two ends of the ground. Total noise from behind Graham Mosley's goal. And Hill, it was deflected! And that surely ties it up. Gordon Hill's second goal. And all around the ground now, all you can see is red and white of Manchester United. And there's the happiest Londoner that ever went to Manchester. Gordon Hill, 2 goals. And United, 2-0. And now within touching distance of Wembley. From the free kick. And it was deflected. 6 minutes left. Derby in need of a miracle. Here's Koppel. Pearson. And Hill wants it over this side for his hat-trick, for history to be repeated. Last time these two sides played, a player got a hat-trick, and that was Stan Pearson. Stuart Pearson hasn't got on the score sheet this afternoon, but has played so well. Tommy Docherty, he's led a team out at Wembley, but he's never won there. And just look at that massive flags and scarves. Brian Greenough. And Greenough moving for the return. Look at this for energy. He's only got Thomas now and McCreary, the youngster, inside. Oh, and a whisker past the post. What a run by Brian Greenough. What energy at the end of a semi-final, which sapped your strength right from the word go. McElroy. And a foul by Riarco, what a sad end. McElroy reacting. The tensions then boiling over. Riarc not liking the fact that United were playing with just keeping possession and a spectator on. It's a sad finish, but a finish it is. And a mass of spectators on the field, and the kids are at Wembley.
Yes, the brilliant Gordon Hill opens the Wembley gates, but United's final is ruined by Southampton. The following year, United are at Wembley once again, this time to face Bob Paisley's Liverpool, who'd already clinched the First Division Championship. There's the Greenough brothers, Brian and Jimmy, at 5 and 8. Lou Macari is wearing number 10. And what a day for left-back Arthur Albiston. Albiston, just 19 years of age.
And on the right, wearing a red shirt, Tommy Docherty, who walks out at Wembley today for the 8th time, knowing that he hasn't won on any of the previous 7 occasions. So quite a contrast between the two managers. Brian Greenough just walking through there, the substitute David McCreary at the back of the Manchester United line. Bob Matthewson and his 2 officials, and any moment now, the players will be greeted by this vast and expectant crowd. Tommy Docherty's mind. He came here 4 times with Scotland as a player, lost 3 and drew 1. He came here as a player in the cup final with Preston in '54 and lost, and this is his 3rd FA Cup final as a manager. United players walking through: Stuart Pearson, Gordon Hill, young Arthur Albiston, Jimmy Greenough and his brother Brian right behind him. And truly this is the supporters' final, because either one of these famous clubs could have filled Wembley with just their own following. Manchester United playing in the same direction, left to right, as they did in the first half last year against Southampton. This is Koppel. And again, it's Macari. McDermott. Now Macari for United. McIlroy's pushed forward. He got a second chance with that, and he found Hill. Pearson's going to the near post. It was awkward for Clements. You never quite know what Gordon Hill's going to do. Pearson went towards the near post for a short one, and Hill curled it. Clements giving away the corner. Smith went early for that and missed it, and McIlroy is away. Jimmy Greenough is square, so is Pearson. Here's Pearson. Smith really gave that away, and McIlroy looked up, picked out Pearson, who couldn't quite get the shot in that he wanted. Not a good clearance from Hill. So here's McDermott. Well played for Case. Kennedy! Stepney saved it. Jimmy Case, a lovely cross with the left foot. Kennedy came in on the header, and Stepney's right foot turned that round for a corner. Surely the nearest we've been to a goal in the first half of the cup final. And a warning to United as Kennedy came in there behind Jimmy Nicholl. Here's Albiston. That's a fine run. Jimmy Greenough in the middle, so too is Pearson. What a pity that Albiston couldn't have just kept his composure at the end of that run, because it was a marvellous interception and a fine piece of spirited attacking by a young man of 19 playing in his first match at this level. There's Jimmy Greenoff's header on for Pearson. A chance on here, and Pearson is the scorer. Made possible at first by a mistake from Keegan, who gave the ball away. Then Jimmy Greenoff with an astute flick, and look how well Pearson kept cool here. Right inside the near post. Manchester United take the lead thanks to their tandem up front, and Pearson found a gap inside the near post of the England goalkeeper, reminiscent perhaps of the goal that Highway scored against Arsenal in '71. He found a gap in an unusual place, and Manchester United have scored early in the second half. McDermott for Liverpool. And there's a saying in football that Liverpool are at their most dangerous when they're behind. That remains to be seen. Jones. Case. Good turn. Oh, yes! A brilliant goal by Jimmy Case. Just 2 minutes after Liverpool had gone behind. Case, playing in his first FA Cup final, turned magnificently. A right foot drive, right in the corner. And this cup final now has exploded into the sort of match that we all hoped it would be. Stepney got a hand to that, but couldn't stop it. So with 53 minutes gone, it's 1-1. Tremendous for the crowd, especially the neutrals, that the match should have opened up in quite that way with 2 goals in 2 minutes. On by Macari. Smith slips slightly. Jimmy Greenough. And has it gone in by Macari, is it? Lou Macari got in. And United are back in front. Tommy Smith got himself into a bit of a tangle with Jimmy Greenough. He seemed to have got the ball away, but he hadn't, and Macari, possibly off Greenough in the end. Macari had the shot, it probably deflected off his own player. Anyway, it's in the net, and Manchester United are 2-1 up. Just look at those Manchester United supporters. So disappointed here 12 months ago when they lost to Southampton, but now they can see the FA Cup beckoning. Here's Case. Keegan. McDermott. Case going in. Well, he's looking their most potent attacker without any doubt at all, Jimmy Case. Those supporters very, very happy with life. Here's Neil. Buchan and Keegan both missed it all. Brian Greenhoff's header it was. Made to look very comfortable by Stepney, but Greenough no doubt relieved. Stepney's handling, in fact, in this final has been extremely good. Now 13 minutes to go, and Manchester United leading 2-1, which for them is a popular score in the FA Cup this season. They won the semi-final, the 6th round and the 5th round replay by that scoreline. But here's McDermott for Liverpool. Keegan, good play. Case made room for the shot. Had a good match, Jimmy Case. Bob Paisley looking anxious there. As well he might. The double and the treble might disappear, although he manages a smile to Tommy Kavanagh. Highway. This lad really has had a marvellous match. And the 11 being held aloft. But before he can get off, that was Case in there, and Keegan almost made it. The first sign of a mistake there by Stepney. Jimmy Case who turned, it wasn't a hard shot, but Stepney almost lost it. And was glad of the second chance as Keegan came in. United still want to make their substitution, but Liverpool denying them the time to do so. They can now, surely. And for the second year running, Gordon Hill is going to be taken off. And for the second year in succession, his replacement will be number 12, David McCreary. Jimmy.
I don't know why some of the Manchester United fans are disapproving of that. Gordon Hill has had very little effect on this match so far, and his inclination to throw the ball away needlessly, you could give Liverpool just the chance they need.
The atmosphere inside Wembley, every bit as good as it was at the start. But here's Kennedy for Liverpool. So close, and still Liverpool won't let go. Kennedy somehow found a way through, and the shot just caught the crossbar as it went over. Kennedy for Liverpool. And there it is. Manchester United have won the FA Cup. The managers congratulating one another. 12 months after losing here, Tommy Docherty is at last a winner. Tremendous moment for these young Manchester United players who walked off Wembley in tears, one or two of them, Brian Greenough among them, last May when they lost to Southampton, but now it's all smiles and celebrations. Emlyn Hughes, the first to go up and congratulate the opposition. Alex Stepney raising his arms, he's got a cup winner's medal at last, and Tommy Docherty, the manager who one or two people rather cruelly said was the most successful failure in football, has today proved them wrong. 474 teams started off in the FA Cup last September, and this was the moment that every one of them in their dreams were thinking about. The moment when the trophy is presented to the winning team, the winning captain, Martin Buchan of Manchester United, to receive the FA Cup from Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Kent.
Marvellous moments. The FA Cup on its way to Old Trafford for the first time in 14 years. 2 years later, Liverpool once again the opponents, this time in a semi-final replay at Goodison after a 2-2 draw at Main Road. Martin Buchan leads out United. There's Gary Bailey behind him. Arthur Albiston still there. Big Gordon McQueen, Lou Macari and Joe Jordan. Those two former Leeds players, McQueen and Jordan, had joined United while Gordon Hill had been allowed to move on. As for Liverpool, they'll include Ray Kennedy, Kenny Dalglish, Graham Souness and Steve Highway still going strong as well.
Thomas looks for Jordan. Jordan being marked by Hansen, a fellow Scot. But a good ball from Jordan to McElroy. Coppell is to his right, so is Macari. Here's Lou Macari. Good save, Clements. Here's Jordan. McElroy. And Ray Clements saves Liverpool. A fine break. The ball played inside by Joe Jordan. Lou Macari came through onto the pass, and Clements made a fine save. Ray Kennedy's header, now Nicol. Hansen, Kennedy, Macari. One for Jordan to chase. Oh, it's come to him as well. Jordan, brilliant again. Coppell, oh, and Clements. What a save. A double save this time, and no wonder he shouts, because the defence lets him down again. Mistake by Thompson. In goes Jordan. Clements is there the first time, and again at Coppell's feet the second. Dalglish. Coppell. Kennedy. Now it's Highway. Good cross, but Dermot's on the end of this. Souness! Good save by Bailey. Souness struck it well, but Bailey held on where many might have fumbled it. The cross comes from Highway, delivered to the far post beyond it, but Dermot turns it back. Souness strikes, and Bailey hangs on. Coppell. Greenough. Free kick to Manchester United. Gordon McQueen has gone across to the far side to join Joe Jordan. Here they come now. McQueen got up there. McElroy. Oh, and Ray Clements for once was out of his ground. And Manchester United couldn't get it in. Clements came to meet the cross. In goes McQueen. Beats the goalkeeper with the header. Jimmy Greenough hoping to pounce. So is McElroy. And Liverpool, with McQueen lofting it too high, survive again. Albiston. Cross bent in and well cut out by Ray Kennedy. That's a corner to Manchester United. Jordan against the bar. Joe Jordan so close to scoring for the second match running. The Liverpool player headed it back across. Jordan got in above Hemlin Hughes and it hit the crossbar. Playing very well, Manchester United, in seizing the midfield and getting forward at every opportunity. Gordon McQueen felt the effects of the challenge on Johnson. Neil. Kennedy hit the bar and away by Buchan. Well, that's one against the woodwork, not either end. Offside this time, McDermott. Well, Neil got the cross in. And watch Ray Kennedy, number 5. He comes from a deep position, unseen. The header smacks against the crossbar, just as Jordan's did at the other end. And again, the rebound was cleared. McQueen. I think Lou Macari may be hobbling after one of those midfield challenges in the last few minutes. He certainly looked at the bench 2 or 3 times, Macari, as though he wants to go off. Socks are rolled down. Thomas. McElroy is just inside. Greenoff is far post. Jimmy Greenoff! Manchester United have scored! And it's the man that got the winner in the final! Jimmy Greenoff! Would you believe it? Made possible by Mickey Thomas, who saw Greenoff on the far post, and Greenoff heads it past Clements. And Manchester United still want to make the substitution, but it's being made against a tremendous background of noise. They want Lou Macari off and Andy Ritchie on, but Dave Sexton knows now that Manchester United are close to Wembley. 13 minutes from the end, Jimmy Greenoff has scored. The master craftsman was in the right place at the right time. Bruins time added on for stoppages as Johnson goes in. The ball comes to Souness. Coppell tries to shut down Hughes. Hansen. Well, they've given Souness some space. Hughes climbs up with McQueen. Oh, what about that for a clearance from the floor? It's all over! Manchester United are there! And Bob Paisley, sportingly, goes across to Dave Sexton. And Jimmy Greenoff, one of the game's great professionals, has achieved it all over again. Manchester United 1, Liverpool 0. Jimmy Greenoff the scorer, 30 minutes from the end, and Manchester United supporters are celebrating again.
Dave Sexton takes his United team to Wembley, where they lose in the final seconds of an absolute thriller to Arsenal. 1983, a semi-final against Arsenal. Now, Manchester United had lost to Liverpool in the League Cup final just 3 weeks earlier. But the Stretford End are determined to play their part at Villa Park and go on to enjoy another Wembley appearance. There's Brian Robson and Ray Wilkins pulling the strings in midfield. 17-year-old Norman Whiteside in unbelievable form up front, and the experience of Gary Bailey, Gordon McQueen and Frank Stapleton.
Augustin. Side, here's Stapleton and Grimes and Moses coming in. Good header up by Kenny Sansom. Wilkins run back by Augustin to Whiteside. Always in the thick of the action. Stuart Robson. Brian Robson. Won it from Talbot. And Whiteside. Here's White. Whiteside, it went over O'Leary's head. And Whiteside to Brian Robson. A mistake by David O'Leary, let in Norman Whiteside. He had the intelligence to play the short ball to Brian Robson. His right foot not his best, but it still made George Wood scramble to gather at the second attempt. Left in the first half. Away by McQueen. It's a good ball by John Hollins to Ricks. Robson is again well forward for Arsenal, and Bailey comes to meet him, and here comes Petrovic, and Robson's in there, and so is Woodcock. Terrible mix-up involving Gary Bailey, and Petrovic did the right thing. He played the short ball in, Stuart Robson jabbed it goalwards, and Tony Woodcock was there as well to make absolutely sure. Petrovic goes to the line, he pulls it back, Bailey's dropped it, in by Robson, and Woodcock, yes, he will surely claim he got the touch before it crossed. So Lee Chapman on for Arsenal at the beginning of the second half as substitute for Stuart Robson, who turned his ankle in that collision with Arthur Orbiston. Chapman was out of the game for 3 months with injury and loss of form, but returned last week as sub, and he's on again now as a striker, obviously, with Graham Ricks surely reverting to midfield. Orbiston making a run forward down the left. Here comes Brian Robson. He's in with a chance. Yes! The Manchester United captain has equalised. 5 minutes into the second half. A well-taken goal. As the play developed down the left, Brian Robson made his run across the penalty area, evaded the challenge, and with his left foot, wide George Wood's left hand. For Robson, who only came back into the side last week, it's his second goal in 2 matches. He scored against Southampton and now takes his total for the season to 12, but more important, puts this semi-final back on the boil. Here he is again, Robson. Stapleton. Number 10, Whiteside. And a chance for Robson again. Good save by George Wood. But just listen now to the fans of Manchester United. But here come United again. Ray Wilkins. Orbiston. Wilkins once more. Stapleton, near post, sets it up. And driven right across. And Norman Whiteside seems to be involved in nearly everything. Forward by Wilkins. Sansom couldn't reach it, Whiteside could. And Grimes completely went over the ball. Orbiston. Corner. Ashley Grimes took a swing, but he missed the ball completely. Manchester United, though, forcing a corner which he will take. The line-up from the near post, Whiteside, McQueen, Stapleton, 2 others to come in. One of them was Brian Robson, and turned over brilliantly by George Wood from Robson's header. Johnny Hollins on the post, but it was Wood's tip over that saved Arsenal. Corner again, Wilkins. McQueen comes near post, and Petrovic half away. What a good save by the Arsenal keeper. Sliced a bit that by Moran. Sansom, Chapman's there. So too now is Hollins. Petrovic is wide, so is Talbot. Petrovic. Away this time by McQueen. And a drive by Hollins. Oh, Grimes is onside, and so is Whiteside here. Oh, I say! It's amazing! It's absolutely fantastic what Whiteside has achieved. He's put Manchester United in front, only 3 weeks after scoring at Wembley in the Milk Cup final. He's restored the pride to Old Trafford. They've come from behind. Arthur Alveston forward. Whiteside saw his opportunity. He came from an inside left position. Onside, said the linesman. The volley with his left foot, absolutely perfect. And he's not 18 years old until May the 7th. And the goal has come 20 minutes from the end of the semi. And that was McQueen. Hollins down the line, a good ball. Graham Ricks. There are three waiting in the centre here for Arsenal. And Chapman's one of them, and so too is Woodcock, who might have made more of that. Tony Woodcock not as strong on the right foot as he is on the left. And for an England striker, might have expected him to have tested Gary Bailey rather better. Here's Paul Davis. Corner to Arsenal. Talbot and Ricks on the ball. O'Leary near post. Played right back to Kenny Sansom. A good challenge by Grimes. And Manchester United have got an extra man. Can they use him? Grimes has got Robson and Whiteside to his left. Robson's got to be careful not to go offside. Grimes has got alone. And the tackle coming in from John Hollins. So Grimes will now take the corner. McQueen has stayed back, but Moran is up. And off Moran's head, he got another awful crack there in the face. Put back in by Wilkins, and off the head of White. It's going to come to Ashley Grimes to drive one, and goodness me, Stapleton almost got a header to it. And Kevin Moran is in a terrible way now. He's pouring with blood. That already had a cut. His face was already badly damaged by an earlier collision, and now it's got worse. And there'll be anxiety there on the bench. The substitute is a centre-half, Paul McGrath, but Ron Atkinson is hoping the fates don't interfere here, because Kevin Moran, apart from bleeding badly, must also be stunned. So, with only 5 minutes of normal time left, Paul McGrath is thrust into his first ever FA Cup tie as a substitute for Kevin Moran, who goes off on a stretcher, keeping his thumb up to say to the others, we're nearly at Wembley. O'Leary's, it's all over! Manchester United are at Wembley for the second time this season, and Norman Whiteside side write another chapter in their famous history. Ron Atkinson equals the feat of Spurs and Keith Birkinshaw last season. But Norman Whiteside, at the age of 17, has scored the goal, which takes United into the FA Cup final. Their fourth in 8 seasons.
Yes, it's that Wembley feeling once again, thanks to Robson and the brilliant Norman Whiteside. So, United reach Wembley for the second time in '83, this time facing Brighton. They've already been relegated to Division 2. The final needs a replay after a 2-2 draw in the original fixture. Incredibly, it falls on Sir Matt Busby's 74th birthday. United determined to make absolutely sure this time. The brilliant midfield of Ray Wilkins, Brian Robson and the Dutchman Arnold Muren make it a night to savour.
Little touch on by Robinson and back to him from Smith. Robinson, what a fine challenge. Kevin Moran depriving Michael Robinson of what might well have been the opening goal. The interchange here is between Robinson and Smith. Look how nicely they worked it too. Moran was second best, but he slid in and forced Robinson to shoot wide. Here's Muren. Wilkins, Orbiston to Whiteside. Orbiston again, low in for Davis, who got a good position. Robson! That's the goal that Manchester United wanted from their captain after 25 minutes. That unerring left foot of the most expensive footballer in Britain opens the scoring in the replay. Norman Whiteside and Arthur Orbiston involved in the move. So too was Alan Davis. What a good layback there. The left foot shot seemed to go through the legs of Pearce, and it beat Mosley, who might well have been unsighted anyway. Davis just set it up there. The strike by Robson through Pearce past Mosley. Manchester United lead by 1-0. Brian Robson. Wilkins. Davis. And he forces the corner off Pearce. Oh, McQueen was doing some climbing there, surely. This is Davis. Turned it in for Whiteside! 2-0 to Manchester United after 29 minutes. Norman Whiteside the scorer. Gordon McQueen first of all going in for the cross, but Alan Davis, who made the first goal for Robson, kept his cool. He looked up, he chipped in the perfect ball. Whiteside's header, goalkeeper couldn't reach it, neither could Grealish. 2-0 to United. And you can throw the comics away now, because this fellow at just 18 has put the fiction writers out of business. What a marvellous scene. The most famous club in the world. Case. Gatting trying to make it with that left foot, but couldn't. Beautifully done by Orbiston, who played the interchange with Robson and then found Whiteside, and look where Orbiston is now, number 3. That's absolutely brilliant, and foiled only by the massive presence of Foster. Well, why Orbiston hasn't won more caps for Scotland, I'm not quite sure.
What a tackle that was from Jimmy Case, who in many respects might be my man of the first half. He's been brilliant.
And right on cue, here he is again. Grealish through the middle. Case's shot has been deflected by Moran. Brilliant save by Bailey. Fantastic goalkeeping. Jimmy Case's blockbuster came off Kevin Moran. Watch the number 5 here. Case is looking to his left. He lines up the shot. It hits Moran on the back, and Bailey was wrong-footed. but he got back to make an acrobatic save. And look at Alveston again. It was Whiteside's pass to him. And Muren finds Whiteside, who looked as though he was past Foster there, and got caught.
Well, there's the hero, really. Perhaps it's wrong to say it would have made it a better final if that goal had gone in just before half-time, but it was a remarkable save from Gary Bailey. He'd gone out to cover the first shot. It had come off the shoulder of Moran, and for a big man, he had to use his feet, get back into position, and put up both hands and just get it over the bar.
Attention to the hand and elbow there of Norman Whiteside. Muren takes the kick. And the header by Robson finds Stapleton. McQueen made a touch, and it's been fired in! Brian Robson gets his second, and Manchester United's third. It was so easy for Robson then. A minute before half-time, Muren took the free kick. Gordon McQueen was causing problems again in the penalty area. Watch it knocked back by Stapleton, it runs loose. Brian Robson says thanks a lot. Brighton taken apart here. The defence was beaten in the air. Stapleton so powerful there against Stevens. Mosley beaten. Foster appeals in vain. It's 3-0 to United. And Brian Robson has scored 2 of them. Good experience this for players like Gary Howlett. Their team may be trailing, but Brighton are still pushing the ball around neatly as and when they can, or as and when they're allowed to. Here's Grealish. Robinson as Moran slid in. And Brian Robson did more than slide in. And Stapleton. Robson has charged forward through the inside right position. Oh, and he's got behind. Was he held? The linesman flagged penalty. Penalty. Stevens on Robson. The linesman gave it. Colin Downey with the red flag on the far side. Put it across his chest. He saw that as an offence inside the area, and the referee has pointed to the spot. Brian Robson gets behind Stevens. Yes, he held him back. He held him back by the arm. It's a penalty. Now then, a penalty has never been missed in an FA Cup final at Wembley. We've had one in the replay the last 2 years, and now we've got another. And before the match started, Arnold Muren volunteered to take the kicks because Steve Coppell, the regular penalty taker, is injured. Now, Arnold Muren hasn't taken a penalty before for either Ipswich or Manchester United. But he scores with his left foot and makes it 4-0 after 63 minutes. Muren's taken them for Holland, he took them for his Dutch club 20, and he took that one for United, giving Mosley no chance at all. And there's quite a celebration going on in front of the Royal Box because the fans are hailing Sir Matt Busby. Look at that, that's a marvellous moment. It's his birthday, and 4 is a lucky number for him. Manager here in 48 when United beat Blackpool 4-2. Manager here when they beat Benfica 4-1 in the European Cup final. Now Sir Matt at 74 sees them lead Brighton 4-0. Whiteside. Oh! Hit the bar! Time seemed to stand still. Possibly the goalkeeper did for a moment too. So, Whiteside almost made it 5. And Gatting is in! Good save by Bailey. Robinson! Good save again! Well, of good attempts here, first by Steve Gatting, who'd come all the way through from right back. It was his right foot, Bailey blocked that, and Robinson followed up, and Bailey blocked that as well. He's determined to keep a clean sheet. And Manchester United have won the FA Cup with the biggest winning margin for 80 years. 4-0. 1903 was the last time the cup was won so convincingly, and Ron Atkinson looks relieved, and well he might. His emotions were torn one way and then the other on Saturday, but Manchester United, the club that Matt Busby built, have won their first major trophy under their new management, and only their second since the European Cup here 15 years ago. So, Britain's most expensive footballer, the captain of England, scorer of 2 goals tonight, Brian Robson, goes up the Wembley steps to receive the first major honour of his career as a senior professional, followed by the other Manchester United players. And what a reception they're going to get from the biggest football fan club in the world. Congratulations from Chairman Martin Edwards, and the cup from Princess Michael of Kent. Manchester United, the most famous club in football.
What a magical night. 4-0 to United, the biggest cup final win for some 80 years. 1985, Ron Atkinson and United back at Wembley once again. The great stadium almost becoming a second home. A semi-final victory over Liverpool secures their place. Now United meet the blue half of Merseyside, Everton, under Howard Kendall and in the running for a treble. There's Paul McGrath, a tower of strength for United at the back. The impish skills of Gordon Strachan. The trickery of Jesper Olsen, the Dane. And Mark Hughes, he's come up through the ranks at Old Trafford.
Manchester United on the right. Greatest occasions on the English sporting calendar. Many of the crowd in shirt sleeves on this very warm afternoon. Something like 70 degrees down there. Aimed at Sharp, Bailey coming for it. Left for Reed to volley, and off the post. Peter Reed, so close to the opening goal. The referee has given a corner, suggesting it came off a Manchester United foot, but the danger is not over yet. Vanden Hauwe and Gray will take up the near post positions. Gray is in there competing. Sheedy. Well, what a near thing this was for Manchester United. When the cross first came in, Gary Bailey, under pressure, had to punch. It came out to Peter Reed. The foot of Gidman, then the post. But now Robson. Looks for Stapleton. Oh, good dummy. Strachan went on his outside. Stapleton shot. Look at Gordon Strachan here, the number 8. He goes outside to fool the defender and gives Stapleton a lot of room the other way. Albiston, and Bailey had to come to block Gray, and Albiston had a chance to make amends. Gray was nearly there. Albiston held his breath. On the chest of the England captain. And forward to Olsen, and now Hughes, and Whiteside's through the middle. Can he do it? Great stop by Southall. And so typical from Norman Whiteside. And how often the Everton fans have had reason to be grateful to their goalkeeper, and his teammates too have looked upon saves like this as being as important as match-winning goals. Very much a match for defenders so far. Can a forward still win it? McGrath. Oh, mistake by McGrath. Everton are through here. Oh! Well, Reid has been brought down by Kevin Moran. And that has to be a booking at the very least. Peter Reid has been brought down. Moran will be booked. But I have a feeling that if Reid could have passed that ball a moment earlier, one of two other... Oh, he tried to, in fairness. He was trying to find Gray. And is he going to be sent off or not? It looks as though Peter Willis is going to send Kevin Moran off. It was the denying of the goal-scoring opportunity, and we could have a player sent off in the FA Cup final for the first time ever. Kevin Moran has lost his head now because he thinks Peter Willis is sending him off, and they're trying to restrain him. And Kevin Moran makes the sort of history that no player would want. Manchester United are going to be reduced to 10 men because Moran is sent off by the referee. Just over 6 minutes to go. Still 0-0, but Manchester United a man short following the sending off of Kevin Moran. And with Stapleton playing centre-half, they're pushing forward with Jesper Olsen. Albiston. Hughes. Albiston. Got his shot in even then. He surprised Stevens, but he didn't surprise Southall. Hughes. Here's Gidman. Still John Gidman. Whiteside. Gidman goes again. Brilliant saving challenge by Pat Vanden Hauwe. Much appreciated by his goalkeeper. What a storming finish to the normal period. And we have a substitution. Mike Duxbury's on for Arthur Albiston for Manchester United, so they've had to reorganise now in more ways than one. Duxbury has gone into the left-back position, and just one observation on that sending off. If Moran goes for that, then if you want to just refer back in cup final history, Willie Young should have gone for the tackle on Paul Allen 5 years ago, if we're going to be consistent. And here's Reid. And this is Bracewell to strike it. Good save by Bailey. It came through a crowd from Paul Bracewell. Actually got a good view once it got past McGrath. Here's Gray, away from Stapleton, who misjudged it slightly, and then there was a foul. He held Gray back. Free kick to Everton. Sheedy has lined it up. And he's found Ratcliffe, who's fed one in, and Mountfield was there. And here comes Vanden Hauwe. That's a corner, there was a block. Norman Whiteside saving Gary Bailey from having to make a save. Mountfield was in so much space, they left him completely unattended. Duxbury. Here he is again, and here's Hughes, and Duxbury made a good run there. They want somebody in the box. If they had somebody further forward, they would have scored, because Southall couldn't make it. It was about 8 yards out, and Strachan, the nearest man to it, must have been a couple of yards away. I don't think the other Manchester United players believed that Duxbury could get it in from there, or indeed, maybe they couldn't get forward quick enough. It was an invitation from Duxbury for someone to apply the finishing touch. Sheedy. And Sharp. Well played, McGrath. He's a candidate perhaps for man of the match. Robson. Looking for Olsen on the far side. United have got Whiteside charging forward. Still Olsen. That's a little save, actually. Here's Reid. Reid to Gray. Bracewell just to his left. Bracewell shot hits Gidman. Reid. Stephen. Gray is closing. He felt he was blocked. Corner anyway. Palmed away by Bailey. Arguments with Whiteside and the goalkeeper. Sharp and Vanden Hauwe wait to flick it on. Gray waits to come in. And headed backwards by a defender. And turned on, I think it was Brian Robson who almost scored an own goal. Well, that would have been an own goal. I think it was Robson on the near post. And if it was, I'll tell you, it was mighty close. Well, that was a near thing for Manchester United. This is Olsen. Robson to Hughes. And still Mark Hughes. And a chance here, Whiteside. Defender in the way. Great play by Hughes. Well, it has completely opened up, and if you can predict anything, a goal looks more likely now than at any other time in the afternoon. They've got Gray on the ball. Sharp is coming in. Gidman, McGrath. Half blocked by Sheedy. Vanden Hauwe. Everton are looking for the treble now, without a doubt. A man to spare. Vanden Hauwe chips it in. Gray. But still Manchester United playing with great pluck and intelligence. Get the ball out, and they've made their own openings already in extra time. And this fellow Hughes is coming into it more and more. And here's Whiteside. Strachan is following up. Olsen on this side. That's all he's got. Whiteside shoots. It's there! Norman Whiteside has done it again. Embraced by his colleagues after putting Manchester United in front with a goal out of nothing. The youngest scorer in Wembley FA Cup final history 2 years ago. He's still only just 20, and he writes another chapter in one of the great storybook biographies of post-war football. He planted that left foot shot wide of the Footballer of the Year after 110 minutes. Reid. There's still work to be done here for Manchester United to prevent Everton from forcing a replay. Sharp's flicked it in. So has Bracewell. Mountfield's up there. Oh, he could so easily have equalised. I don't think he knew how good the chance was. There was no defender anywhere near him. And he put it into a grateful Bailey's arms. Manchester United 1. Everton 0. Manchester United have won the FA Cup for the second time in 3 years, and Everton's dream of taking an unprecedented treble is over. victory. I say now, and as they console Kevin Moran, the man sent off, he's pleased enough to congratulate the others, because Whiteside, only 20 last week, has won the FA Cup. He was 14-1 to score the first goal before the match, and I hope you don't mind if I say that I was one of those who thought it was worth a bet, because wherever he goes, it's better than boys' fiction. Says thank you in the best possible way, and the England captain, one of the happiest men inside the stadium.
The 1985 final completes our first video of Manchester United's greatest FA Cup victories. We've got a lot more fabulous action up our sleeve. We've already selected the very best United action for Volume 2. Be sure to watch out for that. Till then, bye-bye to you all.